Welcome. We're back. Everybody had a good day. Let me put down my volume a little bit. How do I describe the market today? It wasn't like... It was a very icky day, if that makes sense. I mean, it just depends on what you played. There was some good value, in certain areas. In other places, it was a pretty red day. The S&P closed down a little bit red. The Nasdaq actually closed green. So I think it just depends on what you traded today. I definitely did see a lot of red, but it wasn't like insane for the most part. There were a few things that definitely got hit, especially in some of the trades. But we'll talk about everything. Currently, futures are flat. And the title of the stream is major areas for the stock market and for Clover. We're gonna talk quite a bit about both of those as well. Just to start off, we're looking at Bitcoin. And it's still showing that bearish divergence. I showed you the bearish divergence when Bitcoin was all the way up here, pretty much at the third target of the trade. It was a great trade. It pretty much hit all three targets. It was like a couple $100 away from the third target, but other than that, I mean, we'll see how this plays out. I guess if you ignore this little red MACD island, you can get hidden bullish divergence on your MACD and RSI on the 4-hour. So we'll see if that plays out. So now you're at least showing that, but you are starting to show some bearish divergence on the daily for Bitcoin. So keep that in mind, right? If we come back to the daily, higher high from this high to this high with the lower high on your MACD and 3 consecutive lower highs on your RSI. So triple classic bearish divergence on the daily on the RSI. So again, it's just kind of conflicting variables. Still, in my opinion, for the short term, a little bit 50-50. I think if it can get back over 57.5K, that would be great. But you definitely don't want to stay under 57.5K, if that makes sense. That was your previous all-time high from right over here. Just based off like this candle wick pretty much and where the candle's closed. Yes, Bitcoin, let's talk about the market now. Really interesting. I mean, tomorrow I believe there's a pretty big meeting. Powell's going to be speaking. He's in the thumbnail, but I'm on the on one of the Lucky Charms boxes. But yeah, I mean, we'll see how that goes. Who knows? I have no clue. But for now, you're still technically okay on the S&P 500 as long as you can hold above 3930, which was your resistance over here. You still have more room to the downside just to even be testing that support. So I mean, over there you're fine, but here's why, in the title of the stream I said major areas for the stock market. If you look at the Nasdaq, you're at a make or break area, right? So this is like a potential inverse head and shoulders. It would probably look the best on like the 1-hour chart, but you can still see it on the 4-hour and the daily. Not the perfect right shoulder, but you get the point. If you can break over 13.6K on the Nasdaq, that would be huge. That would be the highest level you were going to be at since like February 22nd. But today you even tested the breakout and you could not get it. You actually pulled back there, then you filled the gap because I believe there was a gap up in the morning. So this is a very important area to watch if you're in any sort of tech related stock. Just if you reject this area, you could head all the way back down to 13K and really develop a right shoulder. If you can break over this area, you have a gap fill in the Nasdaq to like 13.8K. So if you don't care about indexes, you probably should start caring about them because they're important, right? They represent a lot of the stocks that people are trading, and they're going to be affecting pretty much most stocks. So just keep all this in mind when we're looking at all the charts, major make or break areas from a technical standpoint, and then also anything can happen tomorrow from a fundamental standpoint. A little bit hard to predict, just know your levels, know how to react, know how to manage your risk. We'll see what happens there. But yeah, make sure to hit that like button. Hit that subscribe button as well, and if you want to send me a tip, that's the pinned comment in the chat. Yeah, most of the trades were actually down today, aside from XPV and AUTL. AUTL was up 5% today. That was pretty nice, but we're gonna go look at the trades. They're still net positive. Well, most of them are. There's like 4 of them that are not. So let's go look at the sheet. All right, so we're looking at the sheet for this week. MBIO hit the target, was Monday, yesterday? Yeah, it hit the target yesterday for a 22% gain in like a week. XPV still, it was actually up 1% today. That trade's still up 31%, it was alerted last week. The Clover trade, it was up a little bit more. Clover had like a -3 day, or it was down 3% today, I think. even though it was up at one point. I mean, still, the trade on Clover since the first entry at 705 is up 22%. Since the lower entry at 635, you'd be up 35% still. So we'll talk more about Clover. Palantir up 8%, Fubo up 7%, AUTL up 7%. It was only up 2% yesterday, but now the trade's up 7%. FEYE up 6%, ATRA up 3%. Beyond, trade got canceled out. It went up, but then it pulled back down to the entry, so just breaking even. Maybe it goes up again, maybe it doesn't. However you want to play it, it's always your choice, right? I don't want to let a winning trade turn into a losing one, so let me put up my mic a little bit. Let me skip this song as well. Alright, hopefully that's better. And then VISL, RBA, and DCPH, all pretty new trades, just down 2%. They're like long-term trades, so again, they're only down 2%. They're pretty long-term trades, like for real. And then the big Karma trade, which has been around for like 3 weeks, it's been around ever since this week right over here. It just hasn't officially gotten stopped out. Hopefully, I mean, it actually was down 9% at one point before, but it bounced all the way back up. So we'll see if it can bounce or not. Pretty close to the stop loss area. And then I also need to add in the new trade, which is Tilray. And we are playing support and divergence on that trade, and it's currently I actually don't even know what it's currently at, so I'll put that in tomorrow depending on how it does, but just gonna leave it like that for now. But yeah, let's get back to the charts. Okay. Alright, let's start off with Clover. Just gonna run through all the trades pretty much. And future is still flat. Bitcoin also still kind of flat for right now. Clover, pretty interesting stuff. There's definitely a couple different ways to look at it. How do I put it? Like, you still broke out on Clover, and not only did you break out on the daily, you also back tested the breakout, right? So you flipped this previous resistance, this green line right here, into a support today. You bounced off of it, right? But at one point today, it was at $9.07. So it was a pretty big pullback on Clover. It kind of pulled back with the market, and then it just really couldn't catch up when the market was bouncing. But for now, you're still good. I mean, you're still out of this descending broadening wedge. The trade's still very much in profit. The daily looks good on Clover. Even the weekly on Clover looks pretty good, right? If we come down to the weekly, it still looks pretty good on the weekly. But if you really zoom into the lower time frames is where it gets a little bit interesting. So what was once triple classic bullish divergence on Clover could now be considered hidden bearish divergence if the MACD goes to red. The MACD can easily do something like this. Sure, the MACD can go like that, which I would love. Trust me, I'd love for the MACD to go back up. But if the MACD goes back down to red before Clover can break over, really before it can break over like 1090-ish, you would have hidden bearish divergence. So that's not good on the 4 hour. The other thing that's not good on the 4 hour is you broke this demand line. You were kind of looking at it like a channel. Well, I mean, if you anchored these 3 wicks, you really didn't break it. But if you kind of anchored it, let's go back to the 1 hour. Like, there's a bunch of different ways you can look at it. That's why I always prefer horizontal supports and resistances to like demand and support lines or demand and supply lines, because the original way we were looking at it on the 1 hour was kind of like this, right? And you definitely pretty much broke that today, right? You actually, like, if you look at it like this, it's not good, right? You broke it, and then you broke under it, then you back tested the previous resistance, the previous support as a resistance, and then you fell back down again. So it really just depends on how you look at it. You can even look at it like this. I'm not too sure how much it matters. Really, what I'm looking for and what I can't even talk. What I care about more on Clover is you want to definitely hold $8.41. All right, do not want to fall under $8.41. It's literally that simple. That was pretty much your low today. You don't want to fall under that, right? You want to keep this trend of higher highs and higher lows. Let's go take a look at how that looks. I think you did make your first kind of, not really a lower low, but like the same low. So for an example, I know there's a lot of lines on my chart, but let me use this tool right over here. Where is it? Right there, right? So from all the way down here, even before that, okay, take a look at this. You made a low, then you made a high, then you made a higher low, then you made a higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, same low. So instead of making a higher low today, which is pretty much what it's been doing this whole entire trend, you only made the same low. You pretty much bounced off that same low from yesterday, right? So yesterday and today, Clover pretty much went down to like 848 pretty much, and it bounced there. I know there was like the candle wick, but I'm just talking about where the candle closed. So, I mean, if you're just looking at it in terms of like the uptrend, you did not make a higher low than your previous low. But I mean, technically, as long as you can hold 841, then you're good. That was your low from yesterday. You definitely want to hold over 841. Let me just delete this. Like you can see, that's pretty much your support, right? It was your support today, where the candle closed. Then it was your support yesterday, or your lowest point yesterday. And it was your candle high on March 12th. And it was your support on these four candles. So that's the area I'm kind of looking at, like pretty much the 840s. You want to hold above that. I was really excited looking at Clover this morning. It was testing $9.07, but there was just really large sell orders in the books, and then time just kind of ran out and the market started dropping. So it was trying to break over that level, but the market just pulled it back and it didn't really allow it to happen. That's just how it goes sometimes. Can't do anything about it, and at least the trade's still up like 25 to 35% depending on where you got on, or 20 to 35% depending on where you entered the trade at, right, from the two different entries. So that's really how I'm looking at Clover right now. We'll see what happens tomorrow. 28% short interest is still being reported on FinViz, and we'll see. It's a long-term trade, just might require some patience, and that is Clover. Hopefully that helped. XPV was actually up today about like 1%. Trade still up 31% since the alert last Monday. Daily still looks good. You're showing that classic bullish divergence, but this could turn into hidden bearish divergence. I'm seeing a lot of potential hidden bearish divergence across the board on the 4-hour. Because on a lot of stocks, right, a lot of stocks made that correction in like the last 3 weeks. Now they're kind of putting in lower highs with higher levels of positive momentum on the MACD, which is not a good thing. So if all of these stocks cannot rally back up to where they were before that fall, pretty much at the end of February, and they go back to red on the MACD, that could be implying a continuation of a downtrend, right, on many stocks. But thankfully, I mean, this trade's still up quite a bit. It's up like 31%. So thankfully, it's still up a lot. Just keep watching that 4-hour MACD. If you get a 4-hour MACD crossover to red on a lot of these trades, you might want to take some caution. DCPH, I think it's down like 2% since the entry. This is the long-term trade, all right? Pretty long-term trade. It's going to require patience if it does work out. Maybe it doesn't. But as long as you're above 40 bucks, there's really nothing new for me to say on this chart, right? I don't want to, keep dragging it on. Same exact idea, same divergence, but of course you want it to start finding some demand. Fubo, trade's still up 7%, but again, I think it has a chance of, also has a chance of potential 4-hour MACD bearish, hidden bearish divergence. So just like on a lot of other charts, if this MACD comes back down to red on the 4-hour, becomes back down to red before the price on Fubo can either hit the target, which is what we're going for, or break this high from over here, you're going to have hidden bearish divergence. So many stocks are currently implying potential hidden bearish divergence if they stop rallying and they just pretty much fall from here. And that would not be good. So that's why if you see a red day tomorrow and the MACD continues to go down, prices are dropping, most of the trades are in profit. So I can't tell you what to do, but hidden bearish divergence is a possibility. I'm saying that now. And who knows, maybe if things are ugly, in 3 or 4 days, I'm going to be reminding you what I said tonight, right? I might be, but who knows? Maybe they continue rallying and this hidden bearish divergence or potential hidden bearish divergence gets canceled out. That's what I want, right? But who cares about what I want? The market doesn't care. So you got to be very reactive to whatever does happen, whatever variables are shown, because there are some potential bearish variables on many stocks right now if they cannot continue to move up with the indexes, right? Same exact thing right over here, potential hidden bearish divergence. On ATRA, this trade's up 3%. It was up quite a bit more yesterday. It was up like 11% yesterday, so pretty rough day for ATRA today. As long as you can hold over 16, which is where your 200-day moving average is, you're pretty good. And now that I look at it, kind of looks like a potential inverse head and shoulders on the 1 hour. I'm not even going to chart it, but if you get it, you get it. Next one, FEYE, and even before I go over this, we got 55 people in here and 9 likes. Is this a joke? Come on, let's get those like numbers up. At least get to 20 likes within like a minute. All right, can 10 people hit the like button? Let's get to 20 likes. going to give you all 60 seconds. Let's see if we can hit it within a minute by the next time I look at the likes. But yeah, hit that like button. It doesn't give me any money, it just makes me feel a little bit better. FEYE, same exact thing, potential hidden bearish divergence. But as long as you can stay above $20.44, you're good. Palantir, also potential hidden bearish divergence on the 4-hour. That's what I'm saying. Like on a lot of the, all right, we hit the 23 likes in like 10 seconds. Thank you very much for that. Not even in 1 minute. See, we got the power to do it. But again, same exact scenario here. Please, I'm telling you this right now before you've actually had big drops. If you do have big drops, there is potential hidden bearish divergence. So what you really don't want is for tomorrow to be a red day, because that can really develop all this hidden bearish divergence. And I was seeing somewhere, I don't know if this is true, please fact check me, but I saw some sort of article that said like 80% of St. Patrick's Days, or 80% of the time on St. Patrick's Day, the market has a green day, according to what I saw. I don't even know if that means anything, since tomorrow we also have Powell speaking, so that obviously matters more. But just wanted to bring that up. Hopefully that kind of plays out. Maybe a little bit of luck right there, like the Lucky Charms in the thumbnail. I don't like seeing, again, potential hidden bearish divergence on pretty much all the charts I've just shown you. Potential hidden bearish divergence on the 4-hour. It's just pretty much showing up everywhere. This is big commerce. It's like 1% away from the stop loss level. I don't like how it closed under the support, but it's had like 3 different fake outs before, so who knows if it's another one. Just giving it like a little bit of a shot, like a 1% room for error. We'll see what happens with that. And then the new trade today I posted was Tilray. Now, why did I post Tilray today? Well, it's pulled back 11%. I think I posted the Tilray trade when it pulled back 10%. So the trade is probably down. I mean, the trade looks kind of even because I had the entry a little bit lower than where I actually posted the price at. So the trade's pretty much even. I mean, you can see the entry of the trade was $27.12, and it's literally 16 cents under the entry. So it's barely under the entry, even though it did pull back a little bit more in the afternoon, but it bounced up towards the end of the day. And yeah, you're pretty much, what I really like about Tilray, and it's not really the 4-hour. The 4-hour looked fine before. I like how the daily has hidden bullish divergence, right? And then also, you don't have one support, you don't have 2 supports, but you have 3 supports under you on Tilray, right? So the first support, 27.23, we go back in time, was this resistance area on these candles over here and on this candle. The next support, 25.35, was your resistance on this candle and on this candle. And the lower one, 23.98, was your resistance on this candle. And if we zoom out again, you can see that those have actually been regarded as supports within this little trend right here. All 3 of them have been supports at one time. So you have some support under you, hidden bullish divergence. We'll see what happens, new trade. AUTL was up 5% today. This is a long-term trade, so we'll see how it continues to develop, but it's trying to break out. It's like literally testing the breakout of the falling wedge. So we'll see if it can break out soon. Trade's already up, let's see. I think it's up 7%, is it? Yeah, it is. So this trade's already up 7%. I think I alerted it yesterday. I might be wrong, but I'm pretty sure I put out the trade alert yesterday. Trade's already up 7% and testing a breakout, but it's a very long-term trade, right? Going between for a 44% profit to a 70% profit. Just again, the targets on this trade is the resistance at this area as the first target, and then the second target of the trade is a 50% retrace of the falling wedge, which is like the textbook way to target a falling wedge. Then RBA, another long-term trade. Again, as long as you can hold $55, you're good, right? That was like your neckline of the double bottom. You could even back test it, then bounce again. That's why the stop loss is under it, but you don't want to fall under $55. Trade's down 2%. It's a pretty long-term trade. Then the final one, VISL, another one that's a long-term trade. This one actually started up pretty nicely in the morning. It was in profit by like 5%, but then it pulled back pretty hard. Technically, you're good as long as you're above $3. So again, this trade is a higher risk, high reward trade, but again, it's a very long-term trade, right? This cup and handle took like 200 days to be created. So what happens if it takes 200 days to play out, right? You know, these are long-term trades. They're not my usual swing trades. These are for, you know, people that are more patient, that don't need the results right away, but pretty textbook stuff with some hidden bullish divergence on the 4-hour and on the daily. So Do your own fundamental research, especially on long-term trades, and that's that. That pretty much covers up all the trades from today. I already covered the market. I also covered Bitcoin. So hopefully that rundown helped. Futures still flat. And yeah, that's pretty much the recap of the day. Thank you for the 30 likes. Keep hitting that like button. Make sure to hit that subscribe button. On the way to 2,400 subscribers. And if you want to send me a tip, that's the pinned comment in the chat. You could also grab some merch like the hat I'm wearing, or like this mouse pad right over here. Whatever you want, whatever floats your boat. Let me take a look at the chat. Yeah, so I saw there was some sort of filing. I don't want to say exactly what happened because I don't even know what the filing exactly meant, but I saw a tweet, and I know it's not really a credible source, right? But apparently, I don't know whether Apollo Management, which was the people who launched the SPAC for Fisker, I don't know if they actually just directly sold shares of Fisker or if they converted it to like warrants, or they converted warrants to shares. I don't know exactly what they did. Go take a look at the filing and go check out whatever it meant, because I'm not too good with filings. Cheddar Free says warrant. So yeah, just go take a look at it. I'm not sure how that'll affect the price, if it does at all, but I guess we'll find out tomorrow. Just want to let anybody know that there was a filing after hours, in case you did not know. Rooster's saying they converted warrants to shares. So that's actually, I don't know if that's a good thing. I would say it's pretty decent, right? They're holding it, but we'll see what happens. I mean, there's so many different variables. But yeah, I don't know. Futures just, futures used to be very, very volatile overnight, like 2 or 3 weeks ago, but pretty much for the last like 4 or 5 trading sessions, futures have just not moved. Really, they just not moved that much, which I actually don't mind. All right, better than what was happening over here when futures were down like 1%. It was a little bit rough sleeping, but I mean, I'd rather them be flat. Okay, that's fine with me, and I guess we'll see what happens tomorrow. Yeah, that pretty much recaps everything. Another potential trade I'm looking at is KNDI, which has confirmed classic bullish divergence on the daily, and it's holding it's right above the 674 support, which is a huge historical area, right? So this upper orange line on KNDI was your support right over here, resistance right over here. Okay, let's go back in time. It was your support right over here in 2017. It was your support right over here in 2016. It was your support in 2015. It was your support in 2013. And it was your resistance in 2010. And yeah, pretty much 2010 was your actually resistance. So this 674 level has been a support resistance level for a decade, over a decade. So that's a very, very major area on the chart. It's currently holding above it. So you could manage your risk pretty easily. And then if we really zoom into like the 4-hour, it kind of looks like a potential inverse head and shoulders. That would be like your neckline. And that would be like really anywhere over there would be like your left shoulder. That would be the head of the pattern. And then I guess really anywhere over here would be your right shoulder. So looks pretty interesting if it can get back above that 200-day moving average. I haven't put up the trade yet because I don't know what happened with the earnings. I don't know whether earnings actually happened today or whether they're delaying their earnings, but I kind of need to check out whatever's happening with that. And then I think there was also some sort of other news with KNDI and some sort of like a partnership or closing. I don't even know. So I need to look at the news on it before I put anything out. That's why I haven't put it out yet, but if I get some time, I will. Just wanted to bring it up. It looks pretty decent from a technical standpoint, but do your fundamental research, right? Just wanted to bring that up. Then the Beyond trade. It started off so nicely, right? Trade was up like 7 or 8%. Let's go see how much it was up exactly. Yeah, it was up like 9%. And then today it just pulled back pretty hard with the market. Even before the market started falling, this was already falling. And I just don't like how it's not developing that hidden bullish divergence anymore. It's the negative momentum is gaining again, which I don't like. But if the market has the green day tomorrow, sure, it could bounce back up. It's always your choice, right? Just I don't want to let a winning trade turn into a losing one. But you like this, you're still technically fine on Beyond as long as you can hold 134. So if that's how you want to play it, go for it. So yeah, futures are fighting 39.59. Let's go to the 4-hour. Yeah, this resistance area, 39.59 was the resistance right over here, and it was your resistance back on February 15th. Just pretty flat though. And that pretty much recaps everything. Hopefully you enjoyed that. Keep dropping likes, keep dropping subs. If you want to drop a tip, that's the pinned comment in the chat. Currently at 2339 subs, so we're 1 subscriber away from 2340. And yeah, we'll see what happens tomorrow. Alright. It's XRP approved coin. I mean, they have the whole entire investigation, so I guess that's just up to your interpretation. I don't really trade XRP, but I guess it's your own personal opinion. Let's see what's in the chat. A lot of stocks at the 100 moving average on the weekly. I was speaking tomorrow. Let me skip that song, it's not too great. But yeah, that recaps everything from the day. If you want me to take a look at a chart for you, drop some tickers in the chat. Don't request something that was up 55% today. Don't request something that IPO'd last week, because I need a consistent chart with data to give you an answer. That's what I do, that's how I trade. If you don't like how I trade, there's plenty of other streams to watch. But yeah, if you want me to take a look at something, give you a free analysis on whatever ticker, give me something that's readable, okay, where I can give you some sort of probability. Or maybe not, maybe it is a 50-50, but at least you can not be like completely confused by the chart. Yeah, we can go over the VIX. It's at this support area. Kind of a little bit under it, but I guess not. You could just move your line like right there. VIX is definitely at a support. So you can see it was your low over here and your low over here. Pretty much like 19.6. So make or break area just like the market. Alright, Square. I actually like how it broke back above 242, and now it's closed both of the daily candles this week above 242. As long as you can hold above 242, looks pretty decent. I mean, this is not the best value area. There's probably much better areas to be entering, but you can do that. Looks pretty good. Kind of looks like a broadening wedge, maybe. Yeah. Something like that. So you're just kind of in the middle of like a broadening wedge. ADTX, pretty far from like a major, well, you do have a support at 309. So I guess as long as you're over 309, you're good. Then your resistance is like 379, so you're right in the middle of the range, but you do have some hidden bullish divergence on the daily. Let me make that green. Check out the 4 hour, pretty gappy, I'm not too sure there. FTFT. Well, there was hidden bullish divergence, but it's already playing out. On the 4 hour and on the daily, hidden bullish divergence. Kind of looks like a double bottom, honestly. So, not too bad. Let me actually chart this divergence a little bit better. So, hidden bullish divergence on the 4 hour and on the daily, on both the MACD and the RSI. But it's already playing out, like it's nothing new, at least on the 4 hour. And then on the daily, it just confirmed like yesterday, so not too shabby, but of course there probably was a better entry area. Well, I mean, obviously in hindsight, but this was like kind of your signal. There was a lot of, it was the same exact day. It was that one Friday when like literally everything put in a hammer candle for the day, March 5th. That was like a huge buying opportunity. If you were in the Discord that day, I literally, when the market was all the way at its lows on March 5th, I literally alerted the whole entire Discord. I thought that the short-term bear market was over. And right when I alerted it, it was like literally your lowest point of that short-term bear market. And since then, we've pretty much been rallying. So it was like the same exact day that happened. And I mean, you have a resistance at like 853, then 1083, I guess. Gold. Tough. Let's see. Let's go on the weekly. I don't like how you're under 1790. Look, 1790 on gold. back in 2011 and 2012 was like your resistance right over here, and you tried to break it 3 different times. On the 3rd time you tried to break it, it started a bear market for gold. Like, it literally started a let's see, from there to like the lows, or to where it came to here, it started like a 2,000-day bear market on gold the last time it could not break 1790. So you definitely wanted to break 17 back over 1790. However, I mean, aside from that 1790, let me just start it again. Aside from that point, it kind of does look like a cup and handle. I'm not gonna lie, right? Pretty major cup and handle potentially. But the question is, like, how long will the handle go to, right? I mean, your next support, like major support on gold, is all the way down to 1527. So I'm not too sure there, but you do have some hidden bullish divergence on the weekly, on the MACD, and on the RSI. So for long term, I'd say it looks good, but for short term, I'm not too sure. And by long term, I mean like really long term, like years, all right? Like, it could literally come all the way down to this 1527 and then rally and break out. So CBAT, I like how it's above $5. That's like a major support you definitely want to hold above. As long as you're above $5, you're good. There's really not much else to say. And then resistance, probably just like this, like a supply line right there. TRVG, kind of going like a little bit parabolic maybe, or starting that off. It's not perf, something like that. Yeah. So, I mean, major resistance at 529. If you break that, then 638. Oh, look at that, okay? Why did it top out at 529 pretty much on March 15th or yesterday? Well, if we just go back in history, we can see that that same exact level was your resistance right over here, and it was your support here, here, and here. So really, you need to be zooming out on your charts, looking back in time, because they're very frequently going to be acting as supports and resistances in the future. FGEN, let's see. So you meant the other gold? Let's see. Gold, the mining company. Which one did I look at? Okay. So yeah, I'll look at the other one, sure. FGEN, I don't like how it fell under $37. That was a pretty major support. It's that white line you can see on the chart. Would really like to see it get back above $37. Let's go take a look at the daily. Your next major support's at 32.43. That's a huge support. 32.43 is like, all right, so both of these white lines are huge support resistance areas, okay? 32.43 is a huge support, and then 37 is like a huge resistance, but they can act as both. It just depends on if you're above it or below it. And currently you're in the middle of them, so kind of like a 50-50 there, but no divergence on the daily or the 4 hours. So, and I guess you're finding some local support right here at like 33.24. So Barrick Gold, looks like I've charted this too. Yeah, $20 is like a major area. I like how you're back above 20. There's a gap fill to 21.62, kind of. And you're on a wave of classic bullish divergence on the daily. It'd be nice for the long term to go on the weekly. Yeah, I mean, it had like this big double bottom, and now it's trying to flip that previous resistance area, which is $20, into a support. So potential bounce area, not too hard to manage your risk right here. You just throw a stop loss under the lows right over there. You know, like around like $18, you could put a stop loss if that's okay with your risk tolerance. But not enough data for me to really give you an answer. Let's see, can I? Well, you have some classic bullish divergence, which is currently starting to play out. 135 is a resistance. You have gap fill at 115. And that's it. I mean, support probably like 97.84. That's the most I can do for you on that chart. Yeah, we'll look at Fisker. I I just haven't been looking at Fisker that much lately, because like, let me move down XL as well, because the trade already played out on Fisker. Like, multiple trades have already played out on Fisker. At this point, it's like there's not enough real data on the Fisker chart for the short term, in my opinion, for a high probability answer. I mean, as long as you can hold 21 bucks, you're good. But like, again, this trade. So look, let me just try and memorize all the trades I put out on Fisker. Right, so this was the trade right over here. It's literally right behind me on the wall. That was a trade I put out on Fisker. Then after that trade, there was like another trade around over here that played out. Then my only failed trade on Fisker was right over here. This was actually a failed trade. They had some sort of like a filing and it gapped down after hours and it stopped out the trade. That was my only failed trade on Fisker in that area. Then if you remember, in January, I put out the trade right over here on Fisker. So I was like so at this point on this trade, I was 2 for 3 on Fisker. Then the target of this trade was, I think, like 21 or something. So it was like a nice gain right there. Then it went even much higher than that. And then just recently, like literally 2 weeks ago, I put out a trade right over here, which was a 16% profit. So out of like the 5 trades, I'm like 4 for 5 on the Fisker chart. And there's been a couple other like short-term day trades I've also put out on Fisker, like on Twitter, not like official trades on my TradingView page, but just on like Twitter. Like even in this area, there was also one trade right here. I think this was a trade right over there. Was that the end of this? No, it was at the end of December. Yes, this move was also a trade that I called on Fisker, or a move that I called. So like probably like 5 for 6 on my Fisker trades, and that is something I'm completely happy to brag about because of how much I love this company. Okay, I'm like literally 5 for 6. If anybody wants proof, I got you. But at this point, I'm just not too sure, right? Like, I'm completely fine with being patient on Fisker, waiting until we get another huge high probability trade set up, and then I'll be putting it out. But I'm trying to really keep that win rate on Fisker at a high level, so I'm not trying to take low probability trades, right? I'm waiting until we get another bullish butterfly or Wyckoff accumulation or something crazy, or just something that looks good. Right now, I'm not saying it looks bad, but it doesn't look like super good for the short term. But now, why am I saying that? Well, because you don't have any divergence on the 4-hour, and you don't have any divergence on the daily. So I don't usually like trading without 4-hour or daily divergence. However, if you look at the 1-hour on Fisker, it's got a shot. I mean, not even. If you look at the 4-hour on Fisker, right, it's got a shot at a double bottom. You could definitely manage your risk. Let me fix that. Okay. You could definitely manage your risk right here. Right, first bottom right over there. And then it's trying to make that second bottom. It's not even a confirmed low yet. And then your neckline would be like pretty much, let's see, wrong tool. So this would be like your breakout area that you need to break. So you could literally line up a trade like this on Fisker, okay? You could enter right over here at your support. Let's see what the measured move of the double bottom would be. Probably like your all-time high. Watch that play out perfectly. Kind of. It came up to these candles. Okay, so let's put that line right there. Look at this. The measured move of the double bottom literally perfectly lines up with both of these candle closed. Okay, so if you want to use if you want to find a trade on Fisker right now, you can literally trade it like this. Pay attention. Okay, with a really, really low risk. Not a really, really low risk, but a good enough. Okay. So, boom. All right. That's literally a potential trade on Fisker right there. Okay. You're playing a double bottom, but that's it. You're not playing divergence. You're not playing like a bullish candle. All you're playing, if you're going to be entering Fisker right now, is a potential double bottom. Yes, it can absolutely work, but it's more of like a 60% probability rather than like an 80% probability. So if you wanted to trade Fisker right here, this would be how I would do it. I'd enter pretty much right over here. I'd throw my stop loss a little bit under 20 bucks. And then my first target would be this resistance around like $25. And if it did break that double bottom neckline, my second target would just be like $29.92, right under 30 bucks, which is like where your candle closed here. And that would be the measured move of the double bottom. So it's pretty easy to manage your risk and put on a trade right here on Fisker, but divergence just works so well on Fisker. It's like honestly a cheat code to trades on Fisker or on most things. You just don't have any divergence for right now. You could definitely create it eventually, but until then, I don't mind if it goes up without a trade. You know, there's still the long-term positions. I've talked about it enough. I put out enough trades, but that's really just why I've not been talking about Fisker too much, right? This is like a long-term outlook for me, so I'm not too concerned with all of like the short-term price movements. Like I don't really care about where Fisker is tomorrow. I care more about where Fisker is in like 5 years. So that's really just, you know, for an explanation, because I used to, you know, really talk about Fisker every single night when I was trading it so often, but right now I haven't traded it too much in the short term. Just kind of letting it do whatever it has to do for until there's another high probability trade. Like I've put out so many different short-term trades on Fisker on Twitter, not like actual trades, but just like chart ideas. And if you've been following me on Twitter since like October, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Like I used to literally sit on Twitter for like 3 hours a day just putting out charts on Fisker. Like I'm not even joking. And I used to day trade Fisker like every single day. But for now, it's kind of come to this point where like it's already gone up it actually went up 4x since that original entry down here, although it's not there anymore, but it was at one point up 4x since then. At this point, like I'm just here for the long run more than anything, but of course if a high probability short-term trade presents itself, of course I'll be putting it out. I'm looking at the Fisker chart every day. I might not be talking about it, but I'm still looking at the chart every day. And hopefully that just helps because I know I have a lot of people in here that care a lot about Fisker just like myself. So I think that was long overdue. Hopefully that helped. And yeah. Let's get back to the rest of the tickers. Oh, and then also we talked about it earlier, but there was a filing after hours, so go check that out for Fisker as well. Do we do Unity? Yeah. Canoe. SPWR. But yeah, keep hitting that like button. Let's get to 50 likes. Hit that subscribe button if you want to send me a tip or grab some merchandise. That is the pinned comment in the chat and the first link in the description. Oh, I'm literally the only time I will not try and be humble, and the only time I will like super hardcore brag is when it comes to Fisker. That like I don't care. I'm gonna be so cocky when it comes to Fisker. What else are we looking for? SC. Okay. Nikola, Blue, and Chewy. So Facebook, it's pretty close to breaking out. It was actually up today, so nice. It's like a symmetrical triangle. If you can break this supply line, my target would just be $300 pretty much on Facebook, but you still, every single time you've tested this supply line, you've fallen after it. So that doesn't mean like right now it's the time to go. It might be the time to go, but you know, I'm just not too sure if that makes sense. Like you're not broken out yet. If you break out, then we're talking, and like a confirmed breakout. But this is your pattern. It's kind of a neutral pattern, so it's literally a 50% chance that it either, where is it? Either like literally 50-50 that it breaks out and it runs, or it hits this and then it comes back down to the bottom. Maybe it goes back to the bottom and then it breaks out. Like who knows? Anything's possible there. XL. That classic bullish divergence really did play out. Look at that. Played out very, very nicely. It's just messing around the 200-day moving average. There was like a short report on XL, so I don't know how that's going to affect it, but if you can break the 200-day moving average, great. GOEV, supply line. Your support is $14.80. As long as you're above that, you're good. It's like be like kind of like a crab, maybe. Let's see. I'm not too sure, but yeah, that's really your support. That's your supply line. SPWR. Let me just delete everything here. Your range is $32 to $38.50. In between that is just kind of neutral. All right, not even going to zoom out too much, but you do have some hidden bullish divergence. on the daily. And if you can break 38 bucks, you could probably run. There's like 2 different gaps to fill up here. SE, that's a little bit tough. I have no clue on this one. Like, this one is really 50-50. If you can get over 240, bullish. If you can't get over 240, bearish. But I'm not saying it's like super bearish. I'm just saying like that's a pretty big resistance, and this thing's kind of gone crazy. Crazy trend. Kind of looks like maybe like a broadening wedge as well. Yeah, like kind of fake out to the upside. Nikola, technically, as long as you're above $14.33, you're good. It could even turn into a double bottom, but fundamental questions, and it's tough. Like, you're just working with the support. I don't really see any divergence. I mean, no, I don't really see any divergence on the daily, just more bullish convergence, and no divergence really on the 4-hour. So, not too sure there. I used to trade Nikola a lot last summer. Like how I traded, like basically, pretty much last summer, I day traded Nikola like pretty much every day that it looked good. And then like pretty much after Nikola and all that stuff came out fundamentally, I stopped trading it, and then I started pretty much day trading Fisker every day. So I have a lot of history with those 2 stocks. I'm trying to think of another ticker I traded a lot. Definitely traded XL a lot when it was PIC, when it was a SPAC. What else? I've traded Space quite a few times. Obviously, I've traded Clover quite a few times. I'm trying to think of like my most traded tickers. Bitcoin, a bunch of I traded the OXT crypto like so many times. I probably put on like 100 different trades on OXT USD, the crypto. That's like my go-to crypto to trade. The technicals work out beautifully on that. I know nobody asked, but I'm just saying this for myself, I guess. Alright, let's get back to it. That was so besides the point. Bluebird, I think they had like some sort of fundamental catalyst that made a gap down from what I believe. At this point, I have no clue. You're kind of like in the middle of nowhere almost. I mean, your next major support is like 17 bucks. I guess you have another support at 27.62, and then your resistance is all the way up at 40. Like, I really don't know on that one from a technical standpoint. And then Chewy, weekly does not look great. I'm not too sure about Chewy either. I don't like how it came up to this $86 area, which used to be your support, and it flipped it into a resistance. I think it's actually bearish under 86. Like, if we go on the 4-hour, that probably looks like a bear flag. Right? Kind of looks like a bear flag, however you chart it, but it shows that you can always break back above 87 bucks. Do you ever use news catalysts to validate your technical setups? There's a lot of different ways to answer that question. Definitely use news catalysts to invalidate my technical setups. Like if I see something that looks great on the chart, but there's like a big issue fundamentally, then I just won't put out the trade. And then yeah, for sure. On the flip side, if a chart looks good from a technical standpoint, and there's some good catalysts, that's like you check off both of the check marks, right? But a lot of times, most of the trades are just like technical trades when there's like not any catalyst, whether good or bad. They're just kind of going sideways without any news, and the technicals just play out very, very well. But yeah, like Cheddar Freeze is saying, and how Mitch Ray says, show me the charts and I'll tell you the news. Like again, the charts just show you how people are reacting to a stock's price. It shows you where the demand and the supply is, and that's always based off of earnings, balance sheets, products, business plans. Like, you know what I'm saying? People trade the stocks off of what the company is and, you know, all the different news, and then you take what people are trading it off of and you analyze those traders. And when you're charting, you're just visualizing all the people trading the stock, if that makes sense. But obviously, when you're in a trade because of technicals and then a bad catalyst comes out, that overrides the technicals, right? Because it's really hard. When you're using technicals, you want the people to be trading it like it's a regular Tuesday. That's like the saying I use. You want it to be a very stable condition with no major news and just technicals, just literally supply and demand. Just a price moving and candles on your chart and indicators. But once you bring in like major catalysts into the equation, people trade differently, right? If you're trading a stock, you're going to be trading that stock differently compared to when there's no news and when there is news, right? People are trading differently when there is catalyst. So it definitely changes up those probabilities, and it's all just a game of probability. So that was Chewy. I think we're going to do the last round of tickers right now. So anybody who already dropped a ticker in chat, I'll look at it, but from whatever's already in the chat, stopping at Blink, that Blink will be the last ticker I look at. So whatever I missed up until then, which I don't think is that much. ADTX, APHA, API, what's up, Rigging Cards, UCPH, yeah, we already went over that. It's a long-term trade, it's fine for right now. Blink, so that's the last one, right? Yep. So just 3 more tickers. APHA, you're in the middle of a range, your support 17, your resistance is 24, you're literally right in the middle of it, so I'm not too sure there. API, also right in the middle of a range. $68 is your resistance, as you can see. Why did it top out at 68? This is something that somebody trading without technicals is not able to tell unless they guess and they get lucky. But if you're using technicals, and let's say you entered right here, you could have saw that there was a resistance at $68 if you would have just zoomed out. 68 was your support on this candle, and it was your resistance on this candle. So this is literally proof of technical analysis and how perfectly it works out, right? What was once your resistance and the support became your resistance again. That's called an ice line. At this point though, $57 is your support, and you're in the middle of the two, so 50-50 in my opinion based on technicals. Blink. Was Blink the one that went down after hours? Didn't some... Let's see. What was it? There was some sort of stock that messed up their accounting for their earnings or something, and it went down after hours, like badly. I forget what it is. Can somebody remind me in the chat? I don't think it's this one because it says it was even after hours. Pretty much flat. But there was a stock that like got destroyed in like the same exact industry pretty much, I believe. Yeah, Plug, yeah, that's why I got confused, because Plug and Blink are like similar stocks, right? They're both like EV charging or energy stocks kind of. If I'm wrong, let me know. I think they're both like charging stocks, Plug Power and Blink Charging. Yeah, Plug went down after hours. Let me see how much. Plug was down 12% after hours. So, and believe it or not, wow, these charts are extremely similar. Oh my gosh, these are like literally the same exact charts. Not literally, but like, look, let me compare them. So we're on the Blink chart. Let me pull up Plug. Look at this. Like, look how similarly they trade. The orange line is Plug, and then the candles are Blink. Like literally, they both were kind of going sideways. Then Blink had a run first, then they were both kind of going upwards, then they came up to this point, then they both dipped, then they both ran up again, then they both dipped again, then they both ran up again, and then they both pretty much have been dropping. So they have a lot of correlation, which obviously makes sense, but apparently one of them messed up their accounting and the other one didn't. So I don't know if Blink is going to mess up their accounting, but hopefully they don't. If they don't, and they have good accounting, inverse head and shoulders potentially at a pretty good support. You don't have divergence to really help you out, but I mean, yeah, that's a kind of like, if you look on the 1 hour, it'll kind of look perfect. I don't know if these are going to save onto the 1 hour. Yeah, look, pretty textbook inverse head and shoulders. And I like the context, right? Because $30, which is where your head pretty much was, used to be a resistance right over here. So this is like a momentum shifting pattern, but I would really like it better if there was like divergence. There really isn't much divergence. And I don't know how the rest of, I don't really think that like the rest of the industry would be correlated to Plug messing up their accounting, right? Because that's like a very individual stock thing. It's not really like an industry thing, but yeah, I mean, you see it all the time. Like if you look at the travel industry, most of the charts in the travel sector all look the same. If you look at oil, they mostly look the same, right? Industry charts look very similar to the others. You know, a lot of tech stocks look the same. Like major high market cap tech stocks all have similar charts, like how Amazon and Facebook have the symmetrical triangles, right? But yeah. We already went over Tilray earlier in the stream. Whatever, I'll just give you a quick recap. I put out the new trade today. There's hidden bullish divergence on the daily, and then you have 3 supports under you, which were shown on the trade, but that's simple. Not too complicated there. Yeah, I think that does it right there. Make sure to hit that like button. If 5 of you, okay, if 5 of you have not hit that like button, I'm asking you to click a button. If you enjoyed all the analysis on this stream, if you're enjoying the free alerts, the Discord, the free course on my channel, all of it, just smash that like button, hit that subscribe button. And if you want to send me a tip, it's the pinned comment in the chat and the first link in the description. And yeah. So hopefully that was a good stream. Hopefully you enjoyed it. Pretty much like an hour long, just like yesterday. I don't know, the streams definitely have been shorter lately, but I feel like I've just been really covering things much quicker than I usually do. I think a major reason for that is because there's less trades like this week. Like the last few weeks I had so many trades out, and then this week it's like not too many trades, so I'm probably just recapping the trades a lot quicker. But I don't know, because we're still doing like the same amount of ticket request time every single night. I don't know why. It's like, because my streams are usually an hour and a half, but like the past, like if you look on my channel, like most like the recent streams have only been like an hour long. So I don't know where I'm like cutting time, which I don't want to be. It's just like usually my schedule for the stream is recap Bitcoin in the stock market, then recap all the trades, and then do ticket requests. We did all those things tonight, but I don't know how it only happened in an hour or so. Strange. Yeah, D said that feeling when you press the like button. For the people who've never hit the like button on the stream, like literally, just trust me when I say this. The second you hit it, you get like a feeling. It's so good. But yeah. I don't know, does anybody have any questions? Like I don't technically have to leave right now. It's just like we kind of covered a lot. Less chat interaction. Yeah, that could be it. I guess I've been talking to the chat a little bit less maybe lately. I'm so sorry. So I'll try to start talking more, but hey, this is a two-way road. I feel like the chat's been a little bit slow lately. I don't know. This is like our therapy session for the FTM right now. Trying to figure out what's the issue. Why are my streams only an hour long right now? We gotta get to the bottom of this. Been focused on the charts. See, I feel like, I don't know. I feel like I think the issue is like right now I'm running through charts pretty quick. Yeah, that's alright. I figured out the issue. Because like when I used to go over the trades, I used to spend quite a bit of time on all the charts. But right now on a lot of the trades is like there's really nothing new to give an update on. Like all the trades currently are just kind of doing their thing. Like the technicals haven't changed too much aside from that potential hidden bearish divergence, but that's probably why. I feel like I've been spending less time on each ticker that I analyze maybe. How's the classes going? Pretty well. Actually almost done with this round of classes. I think it was like 25 classes in total. And I have 6 classes left. Well, no, I have 5 classes left. Yeah. So only 5 classes left. Yeah, I already did Excel. I think that'll do it. I don't know. I hate just leaving early, but I feel like we got to the point. All you go get some good sleep. I'll see you tomorrow night at the same time. Have a good one. Thanks for watching. That'll do it. Finals coming up for you, yeah, at the end of the month. And then when our class is opening up, probably like mid-April. 1-1 info helped you a lot today. Really glad to hear that, Nerve. Awesome. All right, well, that's going to do it. Everybody have a good one. And trade safely tomorrow. Peace out.